PG24 RT ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਪੌਲ ਚੀਮਾ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਜੁੜਨਗੇ ਜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਕਦੋਂ ਜੁੜਨਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਟਿਕਟੋਕ 'ਤੇ ਸੈੱਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਮੇਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਿਫਰੈਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਟੌਪਿਕ 'ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡੈਲਿੰਕੁਐਂਸੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਬਣਦੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, ਡੈਲਿੰਕੁਐਂਸੀ ਵੱਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਪੂਰਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਰੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਟਿਕਟੋਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਵੇ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਐਡ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਣਾ, ਜਾਇਆ ਬਣਾ ਕਿਧਰੇ।
Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416-213-8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219-220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Are you the breadwinner for your family? Have you ever considered if something were to happen to you, what would happen to your wife, to your children, to your parents? If not, this is the time to call Kamaljeet Bola at 647-772-1481. She is an amazing insurance advisor working with Beyond Care Insurance Solutions in Brampton, Ontario. Find out what best you can do your family while you can. Do not put this thing off till tomorrow. This could be very, very critical for your family's future. Are you thinking of a career change or adding another one to your portfolio? Well, you are thinking right. Call Sarabjit Luddar at 416-879-3039 from Beyond Care Insurance Solutions. She also deals in life, long-term, travel, critical illness, disability insurance. Give her a call today at 416-879-3039. This is what we can tell you. She will always give you the right advice and help you find out if being an insurance advisor is your piece of cake. Are you thinking to sell your home and are concerned about depreciating values? Don't be. You are in safe hands with Paul Cheema. Call me at 647-333-2273. I ensure safety of your home with electronic lock boxes. Nobody can enter your house without permission from our brokerage, and we provide full detail if needed at any point in time. Once again, Paul Cheema, 647-333-2273. Better call Paul and get moving. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Manisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. D.P. Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 RETV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulcheema.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647-333-2273.
PC24 RTV ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਸੌਰੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਕੋਈ ਡਿਸਟਰਬੈਂਸ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡਾ ਟਿਕਟੌਕ ਤੇ ਬ੍ਰੌਡਕਾਸਟ ਪੋਸੀਬਲ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ। ਕੁਝ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਬਟ ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਸੂਨ ਫਿਗਰ ਦਿਸ ਆਊਟ। ਤੇ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਆਏ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਟਾਈਮ ਬੜਾ ਥੋੜਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਚੱਲੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਕਿ ਦੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਅੱਜ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਕਸ ਇਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਫਿਸ ਆਫ ਸੁਪਰੀਟੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇੰਸਟੀਟਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਪ੍ਰਪੋਜ਼ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰ ਦੇਣ, ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ more Canadians to fall behind on debt payments, but most will manage. ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਪੋਜ਼ੀਟਿਵ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਦੋਨੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਮਿਕਸ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ, ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਪਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਐਨੀਵਰਸਰੀ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨਵ ਜਨਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਘਰ ਦੀ ਕਲੋਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਆਪਣੀ ਆਮਦਨ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਟੋਕਵੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਬਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਸ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਗੁਜ਼ਾਰ ਹਾਂ। ਕਿ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈਆਂ, ਬਟ ਵਿਲ ਕਮ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦੈਮ ਐਂਡ ਫਿਕਸ ਦੈਮ ASAP। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੀਏ, ਆਪਾਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਆਲ ਦਾ ਵੇ ਫਰਮ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ, ਹਾਊ ਆਰ ਯੂ?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me again. It's obviously a fabulous journey each time we talk. You know, everything goes on a different tangent, but again, we're here to sort of assist people in their robust journeys. So thank you for having me.
That's true, because things have been quite strange going on in people's lives. Economy, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? Now we are in a roller coaster scenario. House prices are going up. People are still unable to believe that the price will keep going up, which definitely is going to happen, and not all through Canada, but in some pockets such Ontario, or specifically Greater Toronto area, in your hood, Greater Vancouver area, hot properties, hot areas. So what's going on in your market?
So we're seeing definitely a great transition because of the announcement, David Eby made on increasing the supply. As you know, earlier this year, increase of supply was managed by existing stratified units. Age restrictions were dropped. Now, even with a 55 plus community, they maintain that 55 plus community will remain. And later on, what was happening was the older 45-year communities were applying for 55 plus regulation and then minimizing the number of occupants. So they found a workaround, not having kids or young families come in. So now EB and his crew have announced a next implementation strategy is they will allow residents less than 55 years plus cohabiting with people in a 55 plus community. So in case somebody has to live with a young family in their home, the strata can't disallow that. So the strategies that the government involve themselves with is basically taking what supply they have and utilizing it appropriately. Now, a lot of people are gonna be offended by some of the statements I have, but
but
you can't.
We have to say what is right is right, right?
Yeah, you can't build more land, and you can't build new properties in the required amount of time that we require them in, right?
Yeah.
So there are new projects coming up. However, are they going to allow? Sorry about this. Are they going to allow people to keep up with the supply that's required? I don't think so. I mean, we've got a lot of new projects upcoming. However, it doesn't meet the demand.
Yeah.
It doesn't meet the demand.
Shortage is going to stay for now.
Yeah. And another thing the housing minister is implementing is the existing single-family residential homes may be, by the end of the year, they might announce, okay, on a single-family lot between 6,000 or 7,000 square feet, a minimum size lot, instead of one single-family house, you can have a dwelling to occupy two families, or potentially even three families. So thereby increasing the number of units on any said piece of property. So until the vast vacant land is developed into housing, you have to use what you have, right? So that's the only way they are finding a way around it. And still, people are unsettled. Like you said, prices are increasing. We're seeing more. We're seeing a continuity of subject-free offers.
Subject-free means no conditions there.
Yeah. With a 3-day rescission period. Okay, so they get a subject-free offer, and then only after 3 days you find out how badly you lost on the offer, right?
Yeah. So I wonder when these things will turn into a good scenario where everyone can try to buy their house without any undue pressure. We have too much pressure these days. So people need some kind of breather. I don't see that happening. I see it's becoming tougher and tougher for most of the families. There are some families that are able to buy and afford, but not everyone is that lucky. Unfortunately, this is where we currently are, and this is what we are facing right now. So we need to. I really hope that this gets fixed up, and that people can buy the house they want. It sometimes pains me when I see people struggling to make both ends meet, and then comes the basic necessity of life, which is a roof over your head. Isn't that
Shelter, yeah, shelter is the
shelter?
primary aim for
Shelter.
every being requiring the shelter, and we have an obligation as, okay, the community leaders, the people that are in charge of uh, promoting the ministerial directives should
Hmm.
have a strategy in place. Okay, we need to roll out X amount of houses. How are we going to do that? Release vast farmlands in order to provide housing. Now, the question there would be, okay, well, where are we going to farm?
Hmm.
Um, there's vertical farming, there's greenhouse farming, all sorts of, good technologies which have been used for years can be implemented. So now the complexities in British Columbia, I'm not sure if it's the same out in Ontario.
Hmm.
We'll see some large parcels of land locally here, and if there's a stream running through it, before you do anything,
Hmm.
you have to consult with an environmental practitioner. So here's the
Hmm.
thing: so many pieces of red tape are there before a developer can consider how many doors am I getting on this piece of property. So what we're seeing is, developer will say, okay, I need vast lands.
Yeah.
Go find me some land. So we go, you go door knocking. If
Uh,
there's a creek in it, he's not even going to bother, or she's not even going to bother, because sometimes the process with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, it can take anywhere between 1 to 3 years. So there's another holding cost for the developer. Who gets to pay that? It's the
yes.
consumer. So you're well aware, so much red tape creates different layers for the municipalities to basically add costs on,
Yes.
and then say the housing is not affordable.
It is really
Well,
nice to think about other parties' perspective about how things are moving, what builders are really facing, because they, like you said, they too have hidden issues, problems that they have to overcome, and then holding for a length of time the value of their money they spend today to acquire a land, and the time period it basically needs to start developing, and then process of developing, and then finally selling all the units. So a lot is involved here. I know there are, if we get into cost accounting, maybe we will say, oh, this house needs to be a bit more expensive, because these builders
absolutely.
are making in bulk, so they kind of
Mhm.
sometimes even out the cost. It's like it's their lifeline, so they will stick to their own business. Like we stick to our real estate, whether we make money
Mhm.
or not, we still have to keep going, right? We still have to churn some business around.
Yeah, the inferno has to keep on burning. So that
Inferno
was,
has to
the
keep
last.
on burning. Wow, fantastic. Oh my goodness, where did you catch this?
No, well, I was speaking at length with one of the main mortgage guys in British Columbia, and
Hmm.
he was expressing the they the developers won't stop,
Yeah,
because that cycle has to continue at the end of the day, right?
the game
Now,
should always be on. You happy or
yeah,
you sad, it can't stop.
absolutely. So
You
it's
have to keep
maintaining
churning
that
the wheel,
pressure.
keep churning, keep chugging at it. So this is how you live your life. You can't be
Yeah.
taken down by these externalities out in
No,
our environment, right?
not at all. And I'm still seeing this is a popular uh, desti- destination, or end destination for people as far as BC is concerned, because I'm having conversations with a lot more young foreign people, not only from India. They're from Nigeria. They're from
Indians don't
Western.
look like foreigners to Canada anymore.
Exactly.
Looks like
So
this is
West.
another village somewhere in India that we just go there.
Correct. Yeah, Surrey's like that. Surrey's quite
Surrey is
quite
like that.
vibrant.
Brampton is like that. So yeah, so I'm going to ask you some very basic question for the sake
Hmm.
of people who may like to compare how buying in Greater Toronto area versus Greater Vancouver area works. So how is the process right from let's say you go see the property and then you like the property? How is the process period? I guess there is a recession period too when you can resign
Yes.
your offer. So can you just go into the basics from start to close?
So here's how we normally practice it. If we get a client inquiry, we'll ask them to come to the office to sign some basic documents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they become a client. You're going to represent them. You owe them fiduciary duties and a number of other things. So we go in and start screening the number of properties they want,
Mm-hmm.
and also during the viewing process, we throw in some of the stuff which they don't want. Right,
Okay.
one or two. So they
All
have
right.
to rule things out. So they have said, we don't want this because of the size. However, if you haven't seen it to rule it out,
Mm-hmm.
then it's an appropriate thing, because if they say, okay, it's 1,000 square feet, it's too small, but the layout is better than a 1,200 square foot, it
Yes.
might work for them. Okay, so
Absolutely.
they fall in love. We say, okay, we're going to write an offer. We
Like
keep,
the hearts
we keep
flying in their eyes. See those red
exactly.
hearts flying in
Yeah.
their eyes?
So, yeah, that's the emotion, right? So
Yeah.
we're dislocated from the emotion we see as a third party perspective. So next thing we do is, all right, guys, we're going to scribe an offer. We need to basically inform the listing agent or find out whether there's a direction of offers and be
Mm-hmm.
prepared to compete. Are you willing to compete?
Yes.
Some people say yes, some people say no. Okay, so next, we're writing the offer. Offer goes and gets submitted on time. There's a deadline within the time they can respond for acceptance.
Yes.
Should they want extension or should they want a counter back and forth, they leave
Yes.
the time open accordingly. So
Yeah.
that's the basics. Next
Yeah.
thing that happens is, okay, you get an accepted offer,
Yes.
and then with the new policy here in BC, we have, even for resale properties, there is a 3-day rescission period,
Kind of
3
holding
business
period.
days.
Kind of holding
Yeah,
period. Just like in condominiums, we say,
yeah,
okay, 10 days cooling off period. So it's something
right.
similar. So you have 3 days
So,
cooling off period so that if they wrote an offer, their emotions are very high, they're blinded by their amazing emotions. Now they
mhm.
are sitting down, they are thinking and saying, oh my God, what did I just do? I offered too much money on this house. Let's
And
pack up.
any one party named on that contract. So say if there's, Mr. Singh, Mrs. Smith, and Miss Matilda buying a property together, any one of those 3 people
Mhm.
can rescind for any reason,
And
and
it is
then
only
that
on the buyer side, not on the seller side.
exactly. However, there's a
Seller,
fee
for
that
seller,
comes.
this is unconditional offer.
Yes,
Only it's the
if it
buyer
is without.
side. If there are 4 buyers, everyone has to agree to resigning their offer.
No,
Oh, anyone.
only one person.
Oh,
Only
wow.
even if it's just one person that rescinding,
Mm-hmm.
that can happen. Now there's a fee associated to that, and that's 0.25%.
0.25, so quarter percent. Who gets that?
0.25%, and it is now the seller's duty with their legal advice in order for them to retain that money should a deposit not be collected on acceptance.
Okay. But we usually give deposit right within 24 hours after the offer. The deposit goes to the brokerage, and when they, let's say the deposit is there and the buyer resigned their offer, now they will get their money back minus 0.25% of the
Exactly.
sale value, right?
Exactly.
And who gets that
So
money? Seller or brokerage?
the seller, the seller,
The seller gets that money.
yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. We will
So
have something similar. I don't know when, but maybe I haven't looked into that aspect altogether yet. But I'm thinking something's going to come up very soon, which will change the scenario all through Canada. So yeah, so that means 3 days the seller is at risk of losing the deal
for any reason, exactly.
for any reason. Is there any way this issue can be waived, saying the buyers waive their right or this or that to
No, it
resigning the
cannot be
offer,
waived.
blah blah blah?
The rescission right cannot be waived.
It cannot be waived. So it
No.
stays there. Even though the buyer may
I
say, oh, you know what, I am okay. All my voluntarily and unfettered opinion without any undue pressure or this and that, I'm okay to continue closing this property. I will not resign at all. So they will not be able to do that. It's like sealed. You can't go back.
exactly.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
and now again the workaround. I mean, you want to protect your client, the buyer. It needs protection. So it's very
There's too
rare
much
that you go
protection.
in. No, it's very rare that you want to put them in a catch-22 situation where, I got pushed into buying this. Well, no, you didn't. We had the subjects there. So when I write a scribe an offer, it's clearly states that there are subjects for the buyer to perform, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make sure that there's qualification for financing. We need to be satisfied with a home inspection or some kind of report from an engineer or depending on the type of property it is, right? So
Absolutely.
in order for them to satisfy that, okay, I'm going to move into this place. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if a seller is selling, they're living in the house for the last 20 years and there's nothing wrong with the house,
Yeah.
then okay, we want to make sure there's nothing wrong with the house. Anything hidden without any ill will, without the seller even knowing that, okay, there's a problem in one of the walls where the shower is. How would you know unless there's an inspection,
That's
right?
true. So just like we have revisits after we form the deal. That is, we took down all those clauses. Inspection has
Mm-hmm.
been done, financing has been in place, insurance has been obtained, everything is in good standing. So now the offer becomes firm. That is, no party can withdraw from the deal. And the
Mm-hmm.
buyer has a right to certain number of revisits that they can go
Exactly.
for any reason, to show their family, to take measurements, or just to make sure the property is great on closing day and the sellers have not damaged it during their move. So during this 3 days recession period, if the buyer wants to go back to the property for certain thing, like, oh, I missed seeing if the kitchen had a window, I want to see it, otherwise I'm going to pull off the offer, can they go there? Will that revisit be a part of the overall scenario, that once the deal is firm, the visits will be counted toward their revisit rights?
Yeah, but it's still not firm until that rescission period's over, right?
It is still no. So rescission period is always there. Regardless, they remove their financing. If they, let's say they write an offer without any, what's the word you have? Like we say conditions, you have something else.
Subject-free offer.
Subject. So if they don't write any subject in the offer is firm from day one.
Right.
But the right to rescission cannot be withdrawn. So that is, it stays conditional or subject to their power to resign the offer. It stays there. So the deal will be firm on the fourth day technically, if there are no subjects in the offer.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a good knowledge. I didn't know how it works there, but now I think you made it very clear. So anyone who looks at this segment, I guess they will be very educated how this works there. We in this area in Ontario, we just write an offer. There are conditions / subjects. Once we finish them off, the offer is just waiting for closing. The deposit gets into dispute if either party decides not to move ahead with the transaction. This is how it works. Yeah. Anything you want to say? Are you staying here or you want to leave because you said you have only 30 minutes today?
Yeah. Don't you have a break coming up? I thought we'll go.
Yeah, I'm going to push the break in right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Again, we're cheering on for the new home buyers, and hopefully there's strategies in order to get them housed, right? So each day is, we will remain in the grace and the favor of the Lord. Thank you,
Yes,
Paul.
absolutely. And I forgot to tell you, we were streaming on TikTok as well. I fixed that up. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a great techie guy. Don't forget that. I'm the nerd kind of thing. So I want
You
to
did
fix
that
it.
while we were talking. That's amazing.
Yes, I did that while we were talking. Multitasking, multitasking kind of thing. So thank you very much, Amrit. Amrit can be reached on his phone number, which are, what's your phone number? Let me see. Can you just say that? I don't have in front of me here.
778-999-1531.
778-999-1531. 778-999-1531. Amrit Sura. He serves Abbotsford and surrounding municipalities. So reach out to him for anything real estate, buying, investing, leasing, commercial, residential, any kind. So he's there to help you out. Thank you very much, sir. We will take a quick break. We'll come back for our talk about the recession and how OSFI's proposed mortgage changes could do more harm than good. This is what critics say. So we'll come back to it very soon.
Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416-213-8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219-220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Are you the breadwinner for your family? Have you ever considered if something were to happen to you, what would happen to your wife, to your children, to your parents? If not, this is the time to call Kamaljeet Bola at 647-772-1481. She is an amazing insurance advisor working with Beyond Care Insurance Solutions in Brampton, Ontario. Find out what best you can do your family while you can. Do not put this thing off till tomorrow. This could be very, very critical for your family's future. Are you thinking of a career change or adding another one to your portfolio? Well, you are thinking right. Call Sarabjit Luddar at 416-879-3039 from Beyond Care Insurance Solutions. She also deals in life, long-term, travel, critical illness, disability insurance. Give her a call today at 416-879-3039. This is what we can tell you. She will always give you the right advice and help you find out if being an insurance advisor is your piece of cake. Are you thinking to sell your home and are concerned about depreciating values? Don't be. You are in safe hands with Paul Cheema. Call me at 647-333-2273. I ensure safety of your home with electronic lock boxes. Nobody can enter your house without permission from our brokerage, and we provide full detail if needed at any point in time. Once again, Paul Cheema, 647-333-2273. Better call Paul and get moving. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. D.P. Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 RE-TV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulcheema.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647-333-2273.
PC24 RE-TV ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਟੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਲੀਗ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ 7789991531 ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਇਟਸ ਟੂ अर्ਲੀ ਫॉर them but he still made it. It's like 6 or 5:30 a.m. when he joined us at 8:30. 5:30, 8:30, it's a big commitment. So as you may be aware, Feds have hiked the rate, but they opened the door to a pause. So Fed funds target range raised by 25 basis point to 5% to 5.25%, matching March dot plot median, whatever it is. So then policy statement opens the door to a pause in June in line with RBC's forecast. This is RBC report. Softer data and banking concern give cause for the Feds to move to the sidelines. So, and explaining these 3 bullet points is a big paragraph. I'm not going to read the entire, but I will just read about the BPS increase, rate increase. Today's, which was yesterday's actually, Wednesday, they increased the rate. 25 basis point increase was widely expected by analysts and investors, may be the last of the cycle. The Fed fund target range of 5 to 5.25% is now in line with March's dot plot median, that is the FOMC's terminal rate consensus from 6 weeks ago. And tweaks to the policy statement opened the door to a pause at the next meeting in June. So they made some changes to their policy statement, so which makes them able to pause the rate hike in June. Rather than anticipating some additional policy timings may be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive. The committee will not determine the extent to which the additional policy firming may be appropriate. So at his press conference, Chair Powell called that a meaningful change, but also said a decision on a pause was not made today. With 7 of 18 FOMC participants in March thinking rates would have to move even higher, we can't rule out one more hike at this stage. So there is a possibility of rate increase. But in our view, this new language suggests the committee's base case is to pause in June. So this is just an anticipation by analysts at RBC, so which says base case is to pause in June in line with the RBC's forecast, consensus and market pricing, and the onus is on data to surprise to the upside for the rates to rise further. So now everything is database. So this is like for even on our side, Canadian side, it seems like a good report. We are very different. We are at 4.5% policy rate. They are at 5.25 at this point. So there's a lot of difference now going on. So, and the second biggest thing that we are looking at is the upcoming recession. So RBC wrote an article called Proof Point, which says more Canadians to fall behind on debt payments, but most will manage it. So what they say is that the noticeable improvement in Canadian finances in the aggregate early in pandemic wasn't sustainable. Those gains are now reversing and will likely erode further amid a softening economy and higher interest rates. We expect the environment to remain challenging for years to come, but an all-out collapse is unlikely. So things are softening down, economy is softening down, and the bullet points here are a looming recession and an unemployment rate projected to climb 6.6% by early 2024 are set to tip more Canadians into loan delinquencies and insolvencies. Time to save now. With massive pandemic-related support measures largely over and living costs now soaring, going through the roof, mortgage delinquencies could rise by more than a third of current levels over the coming year. So I don't think we have a huge mortgage delinquency. Last time I read the report, I guess it was 0.13%, which was not too much, except some provinces where it is slightly higher, but things are still under control. Consumer insolvencies could increase almost 30% over the next 3 years, returning to pre-pandemic levels and likely remaining on an upward trajectory after that. That will be the saddest thing to witness. So RBC expects any financial troubles to remain relatively contained in the short to medium term. So they believe the problem will not blow up in our face. It's going to be contained, manageable. So things will be better very soon. But the pandemic did not stop Canadians from piling on their debt. They kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. The debt has gone up too much. And then we are fearing the risk of insolvencies and mortgage or debt payment delinquencies, which kind of is a scary situation. And now, with them saying that the unemployment rate will be 6.6% by 2024, does that mean that the recession, which was predicted to be facing us in the second half of 2023, has it shifted to 2024? So I don't know that yet, but this is what it appears, that recession is still there. There is a real fear. It's only getting delayed and economy is being contained, so people are still buying, things are still moving, so all those things are running parallel to each other, which are pushing the economy and inflation slightly higher than Bank of Canada would want. The early economic upheaval of pandemic sparked fears that highly indebted Canadians households would face financial Armageddon. I hope I pronounce this word right. Armageddon, Armageddon, new word for me. These fears have not been realized. On the contrary, Canadians' financial position improved during the crisis. Net worth increased, and various matrices of debt service, loan delinquency, and consumer insolvencies grew noticeably stronger. Much of this can be attributed to massive government support programs, for example, CERB and CRB, and a highly accommodative monetary policy that provided a lifeline for many Canadians. But these factors did not stop Canadians from loading on more debt. Despite all those help, we were still using our cards, credit cards. I meant, indeed, a booming housing market put mortgage debt on a fast track. By late 2021, Canada's household debt to income ratio had exceeded pre-pandemic levels. Wow, what a news. So debt to income ratio have gone higher than pre-pandemic levels, and it's remained elevated ever since. Now, by end of 2022, sorry, 4 is still down the lane. So by end of quarter 4 2022, the debt to income ratio is 180%, 180%, or let's round it down to 200%. That is, we have already consumed our 2 months of income. Now we have to work. We have to work and work and work to pay off the debt. But can we do that? Definitely not, because once you get into debt situation, it becomes extremely difficult to get out of it. It's like I don't know how to say that. In India, we used to have those kind of some balls that were attached to a kind of chain and they were kept in water well. So an animal is tied on the other end. So that animal keeps rotating and rotating, churning water out, and that never ends. So it's cycling the same and same place again and again. We are going to get into similar situation. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਲੂ ਦਾ ਬੈਲ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਘੁੰਮੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ. So this is what is happening. So even if you start cutting down your debt by, let's say, 10% every 6 months, you will be in a very good situation. And the cracks are beginning to form in the economy. Canadian households are, facing new challenges as the government support ends. So we are going to see more delinquencies, insolvencies over the next year. This is what predictions are, and I hope they don't come true, because it pains to see people lose their homes, and that's not a pretty situation. But anyways, we also want to talk about what OSFI's new proposed mortgage changes could bring to Canadians. So as per critics, these proposed changes in the mortgage system could do more harm than good. So the article is published in Canadian Mortgage Trends online website. It says while OSFI is Office of Superintendent of Financial Institutions that controls or regulates all the banks on how they should behave and how they should do the stuff. So say a proposed underwriting changes announced in January were presented in as an effort to control market risk. So critics also say the regulator risks driving more borrower into unregulated parts of the market, which are private mortgages. So that was one of the concern Mortgage Professional Canada, the country's 15,000 member mortgage industry association, put forth in its submission document to OSFI, which CMT obtained exclusively. Canada's banking regulator, the Office of Superintendent of Financial Institutions, came out in January with 3 potential underwriting changes to its guideline B20, which governs mortgage underwriting practices and procedures. They included loan to income (LTI), debt to income (DTI), which is 180 right now, new interest rate affordability stress test, and debt service coverage restrictions. So they launched a public consultation period that ends soon, or it might have ended. I forgot when it ended, but somewhere in April. OSFI recently wrapped up its consultation of proposals. So basically, they got all the consultations with industry stakeholders and hasn't confirmed when an announcement will be made on its final decision. But should it choose to proceed with any of the measures, it could end up introducing additional risk into the real estate market, put housing even further out of reach for the average Canadian, and drive more borrowers to private lending. What do you think? Would this be a great thing to do? But OSFI will do what it has to do. It's not going to listen to you. There was a consultation period. People could have responded to it, but whosoever responded, so those issues will be considered and a final evaluation made, and then decision would be pending. So so all these things, when this goes out of hand, so this will be a difficult situation. That's what the Mortgage Professional Association put forward in their submission to OSFI. Introducing further restriction in the context of a heightened rate environment creates the risk conditions of pushing average Canadian out of the federally regulated system and into riskier and more costly mortgage solutions. As a result, more consumers are turning to alternative and private mortgage financing options. I want to point out here that only level 2 agents and mortgage brokers who have completed their private mortgage course can talk and provide private mortgages. So be careful who you work with. MPC, Mortgage Professional Canada, argued that the mortgages remain the safest of all credit products because they are tied to a collateral. So bank can always get money back by selling the assets if borrower doesn't pay them. So now, with mortgage consumer not only unlikely to miss their mortgage payments, but also less likely to miss a non-mortgage payment compared to those without mortgages, according to Equifax data. It also pointed out that mortgage delinquency rates, the percentage of mortgages in arrears by at least 3 months, remain just off historic lows at 0.15. So sorry, I said 0.13. It is 0.15% delinquency rate as of February. So not a big deal. Everything seems to be in good shape. It also said that this goes against the mandate laid out in the blueprint for OSFI's transformation 2022 to 2025 to place greater emphasis on contributing to public confidence in the Canadian financial system. So it says goes against them, so it should not be implemented. OSFI's Superintendent Peter Rutledge commented on the risks the regulator is trying to manage during the release of its annual rise outlook for 2023, in which it listed the housing market as one of the country's most significant economic risks. The level of household indebtedness in Canada is a vulnerability we take very seriously, and it is an area we have been and will continue to monitor carefully, Rutledge said. The long-standing vulnerability is made riskier today by elevated mortgage interest rates and a potential economic downturn. And they say this is the time we have to introduce those measures. What do you think if all these new measures are introduced, such as loan to income, debt to income restriction? Debt to income is already 180%. Do you think you will qualify for a mortgage? I really doubt that. So new interest rate affordability stress test and their consultation period is over. Now we are waiting for the sword to fall on our heads. So keep tuned up. I will update you the moment something happens. If you are thinking of selling or buying your house, I'm looking for some qualified sellers and buyers to service some of my clients who are looking to buy and sell. So please reach out to me at my phone number 647-424-0358. That's my preferred number. The first one, 647-424-0358. But in case you cannot reach that number, which is very, very unlikely, reach me out at 647-333-2273. I would love to come over and discuss your sale or purchase with you. Thank you very much. Take care. Enjoy your day. It's a beautiful day out there. I guess we may have rain in the evening. I'm in Mississauga, so we may have rain in the evening, but the day seems to be doing great. So, well, talk to you tomorrow, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and we'll have another host tomorrow, Gurleen Aujla from Four-Way Immigration. She will be talking about some exciting news on the immigration front. So keep tuned up. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at PC24 RETV. It's easy. The address is on the screen right now. www.youtube.com/@ and PC24 RETV is the channel name, and the Facebook group is PC24 RETV. We do not have any dedicated website yet. So if any of my viewers here know about how to launch this on IPTV, I would love to hear from you. That is our next project. So thank you very much once again. Paul Cheema. I'm a broker with Remax Prime Properties, and I'm also a mortgage broker with Akal Mortgages, where once we say yes, we stand behind our promise. The license number of the brokerage is 10845. And all the content, the whole program is not intended to solicit your business if you're working with any brokerage in a written agreement. Thank you very much. See you again. Bye-bye.